Hello, it's Brett Everett from Home Video Studio in Carrollton. Just won an award for Best Event Video and have been shooting ballet for many, many years. I'd like to thank you to Dance Institute of Dallas as we shot the Nutcracker there. I've been doing it for several years, and they do a great job. And thank you so much for the award. And all right, let's go win some more.
Okay, welcome to today's conference call, our bid conference. And our special guest today is Brett Everett. And Brett, you kind of are bringing us full circle now, because we've had some other people on, Studio Owner of the Year, Studio Store of the Year, and now you're with us. And I know you're in your new place, your new house. It looks good. So we appreciate your being here. Thanks for being here today. How's it going? Brett Everett of Carrollton, Texas.
Thanks, Robert, and thanks, guys. It's good to be here with you. Yeah, for those of you who didn't know, we had lots of foundation issues at our house, so we sold it and had to move the studio and everything. So it's been an interesting couple of months, but we are here, and business is going well. In fact, I've almost got too much business going on. So, yeah, it's just getting into the new place and settled and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, that's great. So, you're how many months have you been in business now, if you count back from the day? I guess you could go. Well, tell us a little bit about your journey to home video studio. Let's start with that first.
Okay, well, I had been editing at one place, at video editing. I do a 30-minute television program, but had been doing that for about 13, 14 years. And just, it's a good job, but it's pretty static, just sitting in one place, 8 hours a day. And I started seeing these invites popping up to check out Home Video Studio, and just, it's something that I had in my head for a while. In fact, a couple of years ago, my mom passed and left me some money, and I started building up my equipment, started buying some cameras and that kind of thing, and trying to shoot video on my own. And but when I started hearing the home video promotionals and hearing about, taking control of your business and being taught to run a business, I knew I began to think immediately that's exactly what I need, because it's hard, as all of you guys know, taking a camera out there into the big blue world and just trying to get business is not an easy thing in certain cases. So started hearing those, and it was interesting. Went and talked to my wife a little bit about it, and thought, she's not a risk taker. She's very, very safe and very, very routine. She likes her schedule set, which is kind of the opposite of me. And so when I went and began to talk to her about this, I expected her to kind of shut me down and going, "That's another lame brain idea that you've got." But she didn't. And so we began to talk about it, and it progressed until we got is it the Zoom and Tell? You have to remind me all the time, Robert, because it slips my mind. But we scheduled a Saturday, the Zoom and Tell. It was online, and me and my wife got on there. And really, at that point, I didn't know what to expect, because there was a lot of information that I didn't know yet. I had basic information, and I didn't know what my wife was going to say. But after we got done with that, I looked at her and again thought she was going to look at me and go, "You're crazy." And she said, "This looks like a really good fit for you. This looks like it could be something." And so after I picked my job off the floor, I was like, "This is awesome." So we began to talk about it and pray about it, and just talk to different people. As Robert gave me the numbers for some of you guys. In fact, I talked to some of the owners, some of you guys included. Tina, I remember my conversation with Tina, and the more I talked about it, the more I heard just about what a tight group it was, and a group of people that helped each other out and loved each other and was there for each other, kind of thing. And that even added on, because Robert had told me, but I began to experience a little bit about that and hear more about that. And so things just kept progressing, and the financial aspect was another hurdle, and we got through that. And as y'all know, I met you guys instead of having really a basic training, advanced training in Indianapolis back in March, I believe, was kind of my basic training, kind of okay, this is it. We've signed on the dotted lines, and let's go for it. And just had a great time at Advanced Training. Got to know many of you guys, and got to see more about the business. And the thing that's been so great is learning about business and moving forward in that, and learning about marketing. And I've still got lots to learn, but it's been really cool learning that side of it, from just telling people, hey, I've got a video camera and I'll come shoot your event, kind of thing. So
wow, that was well done. Well done.
Well, off the top of my head, can you believe
Yeah.
it?
No, it was great. Okay, so then you came to advanced training,
Mm-hmm.
and then I came down and we did your install.
Yes.
What was it like then, your first few weeks, kind of trying to figure this thing out? And then I know it wasn't too long after that you came to the Getaway.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that a little bit too, and your experience, especially for people that are on now.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody, I always say, you're not in a competition with anybody else. You're working it on your own. So what was that? What were the first few months like?
Well, it's interesting because it's such a contrast from what I was doing, where you go and you sit down and you just work at your desk for 8 hours a day, and edit video. It was such a contrast between saying, okay, which is really, as I told y'all, that was part of the thing that excited me. But when it starts getting down to it and you say, okay, I've got to start answering calls. I've got to start talking to customers. I've got to start reaching out to people. I've got to start, hanging by my phone, and when someone calls, be ready to talk to them about what I do and be able to talk about what I do. And so in going to advanced training, I took all the notes. And when Robert was here, I've told people it was so incredible to watch Robert on a sales call and just learn from that, and see how patient and calm, and he asked questions, and he just let them talk and gave them space. And that was such a novel thing for me, because I think, for me, it'd be more like, someone calls, I'm like, hey, what do you want? How many you got? That kind of thing, and jump in. And it was such a good picture right up front of how to take your time to ask questions. Don't feel like you have to have all the answers, but be confident and know that you can get the answers, and know that a lot more. Robert kept saying that to me. Look, a lot more about video than they know about video, probably. And so you've got to go into it with that mindset and be confident, even though you may not have every answer. And you may have to say, look, I'll get some answers and I'll call you back, but it's going to be okay. And it was okay. And so, and as I've dove in and immediately started getting all these, I tell people it's been so crazy from the beginning, because I got some 8mm tapes with mold on them was one of my first jobs. And then a couple of months later, I get a call for a fire job. And so I'm going, and I've got these melted tapes, and just digging in, and going and learning to price those things, and to value my time, and to know, hey, every one of these things may not be perfect, and maybe, I'll learn some things, but my time is valuable, and I do know a lot about it. And I, my goal is to help people, and that's proven itself over and over again, just as I've learned about, cleaning mold off of tapes, and dealing with smoky tapes, and taking a film order and getting that film order to the Melendezes or to Kyle Cooley or whoever. You're going to learn these things, and you've just got to be confident. You got to be patient. You got to be willing to ask questions. And you've just got to jump in and do it. And so I've told many people, it's not like this get rich scheme where you're going to set it up and all of a sudden you're just going to start making money. You've got to get out there and you've got to do what you enjoy doing. But it's been fun, and I've learned so much. And I know that the next time that I go to to deal with a fire job or a mold job, I'm going to know exactly what I'm talking about. And so I think I was telling you about this, Robert, but a couple of weeks ago is kind of the highlight. I got a call, and kind of a ritzy neighborhood over close to where I live. And it was two sisters and a brother, and their mom had passed away. And they were just like, in a panic. They were they had one week to clean out this massive house. It was it was one of the biggest houses I've ever been in. It was massive. And I just walk in, there's this whole stack of media sitting there, and they're like, how much would it cost to do all this? We don't have time to mess with it. How much would it cost? It just goes back to, you got to stop, and you got to sit there, and you got to think, okay, don't panic. I can do this, and go and take a look. Give me a second to gather myself. And this job is going to be between $3,000 and $4,000, and my biggest job yet. And there's still a lot of work to do, and there's still a lot to learn, but it's just continuing to move forward and that kind of thing. So it was kind of a rewarding type deal. And I had the opportunity while I was there. This is a group of people whose mom has just died. So I had the opportunity, in small ways to be able to make their lives better, to help them out. And the two girls were there when I first got there, and they had a stationary bike over there that they didn't know how to move. And so I was able to go over there and help them kind of figure out how they could do that. Oh, there's rollers on the bottom and that kind of thing. And so it's just leaving with a real satisfied feeling of, hey, I've been able to help these people out, and to move my business forward at the same time. It was an awesome feeling. I didn't even mention Getaway, and let me just say about that real quick, that was an amazing experience and lots of fun. And again, getting to hang out with all my new co-owners and friends, quite honestly. But it was a nice week. It was a great week. And then to be able to go to the Hanleys and experience that was an awesome experience. To even bring a few home, again, just bolstering, just giving confidence, and seeing the work that my colleagues are doing, and be encouraged by that, to be able to learn from guys like Chris McGee and Robert and all the teachers that were there. Was just a great experience as well. Just further giving confidence. I think in my last 14 years at my other job, I didn't receive nearly the awards and just praise and encouragement that I did at that one week. It was incredible. So.
And how about Backlot? You and Andy participated in Backlot. Tell us about that, and include about your Hanley experience that night at the end of the week.
Well, the great thing about that, and again, it was tough. And when we set out, and we were like, we've got a week to finish this thing. But the thing that it does is, as I thought about it, it's so cool, because it kind of set up a scenario of what you would be doing with a customer. Your customer comes in, they don't give you, it would be nice if all your customers came in and said, hey, no rush, you take as long as you want to get this done. But we all know that that's not reality. They come in saying, we got this deal next week and we need this done. And so, me and Andy had the opportunity, and it was so cool to kind of see how our gifts worked. Our talents kind of worked together. And Andy had some amazing ideas, and we walked around and were able to think through, which really I'm not so great at. A lot of times, I kind of skip out on that part and just kind of jump right in and start editing. And that's kind of my tendency. But to walk around and make a plan, have a plan, and Andy came up with some great ideas, and then to execute that and take home the gold. It was fun, and it just kind of put us in kind of a real world situation where we don't know what we're going to be shooting, but here's what they want, and here's what the client, or in this case, the judges want to see, and we've got this amount of time to do it, and to do it well, and to have fun and trash talk. Cheryl and John was great too, but but it was just it was a fun experience. So.
And you did something that no one's ever been done, or no one's ever done before. I don't think I think you're the first trainer to train at the Getaway your first year. So you did.
Well, fortunately, that 14 years of sitting at the desk working, had some dividends, and I was able to just pass a little bit of that off. I don't know how much people got out of that, but it certainly, again, gave me another experience to grow and to stretch me, which is what it's all about, I think, growing and being stretched to be able to do more. And it really seriously, it got me to thinking, because I've had to go on YouTube before, and look up these little videos of how do you do this and how do you do that. And some videos you come across are good, and some of them, quite honestly, are not good at all. But to think through, well, hey, how could I use that? Maybe on YouTube, maybe on my website, maybe on my Facebook, to be able to get people's attention and to spark interest in what's going on here at Home Video. The possibilities are kind of endless there. So,
and I think would you agree that when you teach a class, you kind of learn more yourself too?
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, easily. I mean, because I had to go over. We did shortcuts, and so I had to go over all my shortcuts. And really, I remembered a few that I had forgotten, and today I'm using shortcuts that oh my gosh, I forgot about that one, kind of thing. And just to be able to lay it out in a way that people can understand it, you really have to think through that. And so absolutely, it does help you to grow and stretch you. Even just doing something like getting up in front of people, that's as y'all all know, that's not the easiest thing to do, and we've got to be able to get up in front of people. So,
and I think also you don't have to, if you can kind of separate yourself from, okay, it's okay to make a mistake, it's all right to say the wrong thing, especially when you're talking to prospects and customers. Just that was a hard thing for me to finally to learn. Even after all these years, it just is okay, be real about it.
Well, it would be great to get it all perfect the first time, but that, especially when you're learning, that's not really always possible. And there's been jobs that have cost me money, quite honestly. I've misfigured some film and different kinds, but the next time I'm not going to misfigure it, and so I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn more and more as I go, and just in reading books, that's what I encourage, especially as business people. That's what the encouragement is. When you have a fail moment, you can't take that as a negative. You have to take that as well, hey, I learned this part of it, and I'm not going to do that again. And next time I'm going to do it better. And so in the long run, that mistakes ended up helping me out instead of hurting me. So
tell us a little bit about because I know today it's all of our studio owners, but I'll put this on our YouTube page and I'll use it in marketing. What would you say to somebody new that's thinking about, coming on with Home Video Studio? What would your thoughts be now?
Well, the thing that I would say is, again, just to reiterate that, if you're looking for a get rich quick scheme where you don't have to do anything, then I don't know, maybe there's a way to do that. I don't know, but the way I see it, if you enjoy helping people, and if you enjoy audio, video, being creative, if you enjoy helping people with memories and telling stories and those kind of things, then and you're willing to get after it a little bit and to learn and to be open, then I think it is a great opportunity. And to me, one of the great things about Home Video Studio is that we all have weaknesses, and instead of having to wait and build a company all by yourself and figure out your weaknesses and get people to fill in those weaknesses for you so that you can do what you do best, you can do something like join home video studios. And that's the great thing about it, is that, you know, some of my knowledge about business and how to run a business and in QuickBooks and those, you know, those types of things. I had never been in QuickBooks really. I mean, you know, we have a little bit at home and my wife does it more than I do, but I've had to get in there and learn how to use QuickBooks. And you know what? That's been a benefit to me, and it helps me. There are other areas, market. You know, I've been on the marketing side of creating like publicity before, but actually, you know, coming up with marketing and learning how to run that and when to run it and what to say. I've learned a lot about those kind of things. And so if you want to create a small business where you can begin to gain control and understand that for me, I'm coming out of working a full-time job and I'm trying to transition. So I'm having to work my tail off right now, but the end goal is that I will have more control of my schedule. I'll have creative freedom that I've never had before. And to me, just the possibilities, whether you're into the production side or the transfer side, there are just so many possibilities, and there's so much help with the people that are involved in home video studios and with the tools that they provide. It just makes it so much more feasible to do that than to having to, it's like reinventing the wheel. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel has already been invented, and all you have to do is to go for it. And so that's the exciting thing about it in my mind.
Awesome. Any questions or comments from the home video studio family? Any questions for Brett Everett?
Brett, what's been the most challenging part of starting this business for you?
The most challenging part. You know, for me, it gets to be a time issue, and just because of my situation. Now, not everybody has to do it the way I do it. I am still, you know, I've relied on my full-time job to support my family. And so for me, I have to build up the home video studio side to the degree that I can leave a full-time position and be able to replace that salary fairly quickly. So for me, you know, I think there's kind of a balance, and my wife has to tell me this, you know, you can only do so much, you know, you can't do more than you can do, and you can't kill yourself. And so for me, I've just got to have a balance and know that the day when I can only do home video studios is coming, and with the money that's coming in, with the jobs that are coming in, I think that will be very quickly. But until then, you know, I've got to be able to, you know, I don't have quite as many machines as everybody else has yet, but that day is coming when I will. And so I've got to be patient. And until then, I've just got to make the best use of my time and, you know, rely on others to help me. And, you know, when I can't do a job, to be able to pass that off, that kind of thing. You know, those are tough decisions, but they're decisions that for me right now, I just have to do. So
We're lucky that we have those people we can lean on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've called many of you, you know, when issues. And again, that's one of the great things is you get a call and you don't, you know, I still get questions that I have no idea what the answer is, but I can go to Home Video Studios Network and I can post on there. I can go to my dashboard and all of you guys' phone numbers are right there. Robert's phone number is right there. Our web support, our business support, all those phone numbers are right there. So I can go to that page and call whoever needs to be called. So
just love your positive attitude, Brett.
Thanks, Tom. I appreciate yours as well. When you came down.
Yeah.
We had a great time as I mentioned there. That's one of the things I love to do is I love hosting. I love food and all that kind of stuff. And that's why it's so hard for me to just sit in a space in a dark room and edit for 8 hours a day. But I also want to say, and this just this goes to show too, because there are studios all over the place, and fortunately one of the studios that's close to me is in Arlington, and Craig Peterson owns that studio. And I just want to give a shout out to Craig. He's been such a big help. And this is another example, that one of that first call that I told you about that I got, not only was it moldy tapes, but it was also PAL tapes, which you guys know, if PAL tapes, you can't operate them in your standard NTSC, just your American equipment. And so, but I called Craig up, and Craig had some PAL equipment. So I went and sat down and talked with him. He was able to let me use the equipment. He talked to me a little bit about moldy tapes. He's been in the business for a long time. And so just those relationships, again, just come back into play. And Craig's been such a great guy. I truly appreciate him. He came to my open house that we did back in September when we first opened up, and supported me, and has even sent me jobs, and I've sent him jobs. When I get those jobs, and I got a call the other day that was like a reel-to-reel audio, and which I, at this time I don't do, but Craig's got a guy that is right there at his studio that can do that. And so we pass each other situations like that. And I just can't say enough about those relationships. Barry and Tina and Robert and relied on Chad several times. Just all you guys have been such a big help. And that's the cool thing about home video studios.
Well, thank you. What do you think's next for you in the coming year or two? You started making some long range plans, or are you still?
Well, my eyes are pretty focused on getting to the point where I can be full time. But within that, obviously I'll have to expand a little bit. I've got to get some more DVA machines, which are the machines that we use. That's the heart of our system. For people who are watching who may not know, but I've got to expand a little bit, and so expansion is on my mind, and I'm keeping an eye a little bit. We're a little bit tight here in this house, so I'm looking at different possibilities. I'm not sure what that's going to entail. We've got some garage space I could build out, and other owners have looked at office space or retail space, and so some of those things we're looking at, but it's all good, and it's all about expanding. And so that's what it is, really.
So Brett, what would you say to people that, today we have the home video studio family on? This is our Monday vid conference call, but what would you say to people that are watching this, like maybe on our YouTube channel or on wherever, and they're thinking about, wow, should I get involved with home video studio?
Well, I would say that, if you have a love for creativity and audio video, and you enjoy telling people stories, helping people out, it's amazing how many people have truly said to me, I really, really appreciate what you have done for me. If you enjoy those kind of things, and you are willing to do a little work, it does take some work, but it takes work doing what you love to do, then I would say go for it. If you're looking for a get rich quick scheme, then maybe buy some stock or something like that. But if you love hanging out with people and building relationships with people, and doing creative things, I would say that there's no better place, and that the group of people at home video studios really is amazing. Really wonderful people that I've enjoyed getting to know, talking with, and that really truly care about helping you get your small business started. It's an excellent way to go.
Thank you very much. I am so happy you were here today, and you just did fantastic. You're doing great. I wish I could be as spontaneous as you've been today.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. You guys listen to me. I wish that I could be with you guys every Monday, and unfortunately, our office is even cracking down on people. Only doing stuff for them. So it's tough to be with you guys on Monday, but when I can, I do. And I definitely go back and watch the replays. So thank you guys for listening, and I appreciate all of you.
I'm Brett Everett from Home Video Studio, Carrollton, Texas.
I'm Andy Pittman, Home Video Studio, Raleigh, North Carolina.
And we just won the award for
Best backline.
It was truly a team effort. Andy had some great ideas. He brought them to me. We went around and shot some video, came up with the ideas, made them happen, and we beat the competition. It was an incredible time. We thank all the backlot people. We had lots of fun, and it was great hanging out with all the backlot people. And thank you very much to the Academy. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate your being here today. We'll see you on the next Monday vid call. So thank you very much.
All right.